Okay, let's start. Now we are running a bit on the time. Well, my name is Fran Villegas. I work on Amazon Web Services as SAP Specialist Solution Architect. More than 20 years of experience on SAP. I started as ABAP from the old time. Previously to that, I worked as developer on C++, even Go at times. I moved to ACES, then I moved to consulting, always on SAP. Then I moved to project management, delivery management, etc. Now, I have the opportunity helping to the company to migrate and to work with the SAP system on AWS. The idea of the session today is not to speak about infrastructure on AWS, but on how we innovate. AWS have developed ABAP SDK. We all know what is an SDK. There are a lot of SDKs out there for the AWS, Python, .NET, Ruby, almost whatever, and now they included the SDK. The agenda today is speak about a very brief introduction about what is the SDK for ABAP, what is introduced on the ABAP code to develop, to integrate with the AWS services into the ABAP development, and ideas to innovate, what are doing the customer now, what can be done, and some demos. I had 2 demos included. I was pretty confident. Then I included another, and yesterday I included another. So I have 4 demos for you. So that's the reason, because I'm going to go very briefly on the introduction. Okay. About the ABAP SDK. What is the idea? Giving to the ABAP developers the opportunity to start interacting with the cloud services, with all of the cloud services in AWS. The SDK is able to integrate even with Bedrock, that is the Gen AI services from AWS that was released about 1 month or 2 months ago. With our SDK, I have a couple of demos of integrated with Bedrock to have some Gen AI. Well, it is helping already to customer. I have directly a customer who has been removing some of the infrastructure that they had only to integrate with the queue mechanism on AWS. What they had, so they needed to send interfaces to another system, and they were sending a message to a queue mechanism on AWS, but ABAP and AWS do not understand at all. They needed something in the middle, okay? A middleware, whatever you need. What are they doing now? Removing all of that, because now with our SDK they can send the message directly to the queue, and then can retrieve the message directly from the queue. Okay? No need any other thing in the middle. The security is double. The customer asks, what about the security? It is double. You manage the security on SAP, the typical SAP from all the time, profiles, role on SAP, etc., and also on top of that, the security on AWS. So we are going to have SAP security specialists configuring the security on SAP, and AWS security specialists configuring the security on AWS, in both sides. Usually, this is what I was speaking before. Integrating ABAP with AWS services was a nightmare, completely. My colleagues from Syntax, they developed the first SDK some years ago. It was a kind of limited to some services, and now AWS has developed it for all of the services. What was the problem? Was the security and authentication. How to match that? The security from SAP with the security on AWS, completely different. The data formatting. We are working on ABAP. We are going to send to AWS an internal table, something. Usually the cloud work on Parquet, JSON, but it is very tricky to do this. The connectivity, as I said before, always something in the middle, and multiple points of integration. Take into account that AWS has, at the moment, more than 200 services. And each of the services will have multiple APIs. The architecture, quite basic. Okay, we have SAP and we have AWS, and only the SDK that is included into ABAP. So we need to include, in this case, via transport. Why we are doing transport and not an add-on? You may ask. Well, an add-on for the more than 200 services, it is, I don't know, but it is thought that it's about million scope to be introduced on the ABAP system. And that's the reason, because it was developed by transport, by each particular service. If you want to integrate with Lambda, you import the transport for Lambda. If you want to integrate with S3, you import the transport for S3. Many services on AWS. Bedrock is our Gen AI service. We have multiple foundation models from Anthropic, Amazon, Cohere. There is in another side. Customize, this is very important. Customize with your data. The customers that are going to use Gen AI on AWS, they are going to have a foundation model with generic data, with anonymized data, pre-training. All of the data that the customer is going to use to train that model is going to remain on the customer account. It's not going to be used for anyone else. Okay, what are doing the customer? Yes, there are customers already using the ABAP SDK. I have to say, at the moment, currently, the ABAP SDK is only compatible with on-premises SAP systems. Okay, so you need to deploy, import the transport on the system, the typical from all the time. You know? But it is in roadmap to have a version integrated with the BTP environment, with the BTP cloud for ABAP. Okay, this is the both teams, SAP and AWS team, development teams and compliance, they are working together. The idea is to have it for the first quarter on 2024. So we are going to be able to develop directly on BTP, our cloud, with the integration to all the services. Where customer manage document. This is also always in SAP. To process document, we need a lot of hardware, license, etc., to be able to do that. I have a demo later to see how we can process document with the ABAP SDK. Secure transfer file with S3, language translation. There are multiple customers doing this. For example, a word order that is created on Argentina, for example, and is going to be assigned to a team in UK or vice versa. So, on the fly, that order that was created by a user can be translated to multiple languages according to the team. Address correction, well, the typical. We have, I don't know, for example, we have a direction, Roger Floor 48. That's it. With the location services from AWS, we can complete that. It can help the customer to correct that address, completing with the zip code, city, blah, 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 etc., etc. And created event-driven architecture, as I said before. For example, sending a message to SQS at the moment of an event, and then at the moment of another event, it is picked by another system. It is important, this is the integration that we are working with SAP, AWS with SAP, the reference architecture, where we integrate BTP with AWS services. We do not compete. We have more or less something to cover gaps. After all, BTP is growing. BTP, at the moment, we have 19 services on BTP. On AWS, we have more than 200. So there are some gaps that can be covered at the moment. So that's a good idea. But more important than that is here, data federation. We have data federation between DataSphere and most of the storage systems on AWS. So we do not need to do traffic between them. The demos I have at the moment, they are based completely on AWS because it's easier for me to do that, but they can be easily integrated with any of the BTP services. Developer experience. If anyone here is a developer, so what you have to know is two APIs where you are going to confirm, of course, the parameters. But it's not new command, new instructor, whatever. It's completely standard ABAP. And about the security, what I said before. And security specialists on AWS. The base is admin to import the orders, confirm the technical prerequisite, the SAP security to create the profiles on AWS, on SAP and assign to the users, and the developer to develop. Okay, let's see. We have a field scenario, for example, for data lake. Usually, the customer, they are looking to have the data lakes on near real time. Even when they do not need that, but well, they like to know or to see that they have the capacity to have an integration on real time. Ah, okay, that's fine. Okay, I have here a small dashboard. Do not complain, it is very poor, the dashboard, but well, just to show you how this works. We have for this specific product in sales document 162. So let's create a new sales document. I can go of course on Fiori, but well. I'm going to create this as a copy. I will specify the customer. We have 62. Let's say that it's going to be 8, just to round up to 70, and let's create it. Now we have created the order. This is the number order, 4280. Let's refresh our dashboard. And we have our data lake updated at the moment, on real time. Okay. How this works? Second, let me get back here. There are many ways to do this to work. What are we doing to have the less impact on the SAP standard code? Well, we use business events. We have the typical business event from the beginning of SAP, always that something happen, a business event occurs. And we leverage that business event to create a function module, a custom function module that is going to integrate with AWS. And what we're doing, we have multiple options. So we can send the information to a landing bucket and then process that landing zone even with AWS services or with BTP. And then we can have the dashboard on SAP Analytics Cloud, for example, or on QuickSight, as it is the case of this day. The other option is, how is developed with this demo that I show is, send the data directly to the source of truth. This is Athena, using Athena tables. And the QuickSearch is connected directly on the top of the table. It is good? Well, depending on the business case. Yeah? What happened? If there is something wrong, one of the interfaces, well, if I create one sales document and for any reason there is no connectivity to AWS, that is not going to be created. So I need to have a mechanism to control the change data capture, something that has not been sent to the SAP, I will need to control that. So that's additional work. But okay, this is near real time, this is supported on-prem. The system do not need to be on AWS. So it works with system on-prem. Okay, you can integrate system on-prem or on any other cloud with AWS services. The other way is to use the ODP. So we have ODP instead of having real-time replication. So all we have is we work with ODP, a subscriptor, a program, a control report that is going to be the same. What is the good thing here? If nothing is not transferred, it will be transferred the next time in run. Okay? We do not need to worry about having to control this data was not sent, etc., etc. So it is not real time. It's going to be around every 5 minutes, 2 minutes, one day, etc., etc. But it's much more reliable. I like to specify that to the customer. So it is going to depend on the business case. The other, document processing, as I said before. So we need a lot of resources. We need something, in some cases, the customer need is very specific for something particular. And maybe do not need a lot of system and license, etc., etc. So let's go with the, this is another demo. So let's say that we have an invoice that we need to load into SAP. We do this, 02, and I'm going to export this as PDF. This is imported. This is our invoice. This is our items. Okay, and now let's process this. We have our seller up there working. We need to specify to what bucket we need to upload the order. So this is something to be done. Let's say the seller. We are going to upload this document created right now. We need to specify where we are going to upload this. Let's say invoices. And now we have this. Let's upload the file. The file was uploaded to S3. We are going to check here the invoice. Here we have the document uploaded right now. Okay? And now we are going to process this. We are going to execute. Continue. What is doing this? We are going to see later the architecture. This is getting the document and processing with Textra. What's Textra? A kind of OCR service, but with much more capability. It can identify where are the fields, where is the invoice, where is the sale order, where are the items, what are the core of the item, the description, the quantity, the amount, etc., independently of the layout of the invoice. It can be any. You know, it doesn't need to be one specific layout for all of the invoices. In fact, all of the suppliers, customers, etc., they have different formats. And now we have it already created the document on AWS. The invoice created the document. And let's go to display the invoices. We are going to see the invoice. This is the, I think this is, okay, yes. And 2022. And here we have our document with all of the lines. Okay? We have our line, long text. We have the information here. If we can see the document. So was coming for Robin, blah 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 blah. Okay? It is all extracted from the document and created on the SAP system. Even we have included, in this case, translate. You can see we have here the original message, and additional to Testra, we process this with translate to move this to German in this case. Yeah. But it can be translated to any language. And well, that is our example of document processing. The architecture, well, we have the customer, we upload the document to S3, we call Textra to get the document, we execute the translate. There is even a validation if the order is duplicated on SAP and it sends a message, okay? We do not see here, we don't have too much time. And then the message post. Now, Gen AI. Before seeing this, let's see the demos. How we can integrate our typical development on SAP Git to generate code. Let's create a new report. In this case, we are using the dynamic patterns. We don't know the patterns to include a function, select from a table, whatever. This is the dynamic pattern. The dynamic pattern means that we send that request to a functional module, and that functional module is going to integrate with Bedrock in this case. We have and what do we want? Let's see. Report to list or employees. Now we are waiting for by the answer. And here we have. Let's see, we do not specify the table or whatever. And take into account, this is with a not trained model. This is with a basic foundational model. I'm using in this case Anthropic. We have Cohere, Jurassic, I don't know the others. When I used Anthropic, it was the filter walker when I waited. That's the reason. There are many others. Okay, but it is not perfect. Sometimes if I run a check, we are going to find some we have two reports. Okay, no error. We can activate and we can execute, and we have the result. Done. It's not perfect, but we have the skeleton of the ABAP code that we need to work with. And we can include anything. I use it for this reason. The other example of for the Gen AI that I asked is that we know the customer, the old customer on SAP, they trust on the SAP report. So what can we do? We can say that I have worked with customers. So we send the data to a data lake, we process, and how do I know that the data is consistency? If there is an error, we are sure they trust on the report. So an easy example is to execute directly the report, and standard report on SAP, and let's say the report, what do we want to do? So create insight, summary of the data below. I say below because when I send the data to Bedrock, I send this message and then the report below. Let's execute this report. We are going to call this report. This is a very old system and I haven't closed it too frequently my periods, so sorry for this. We have here with data. This is financial statement. Honestly, I have no idea. No? There is a bunch of data here of the properties, etc., inventory, blah, blah. Now, what we are doing is to send this output to our report, and that report is going to be sent to Bedrock with our ask. And now we are going to see what we have. Okay, we have again the report, and if we go at the end, we have some insight. The total asset increased by so many millions, the revenue decreased, etc. The company appears to be struggling with managing cash flow. Okay. This is good, no? The AI, they don't have sentiment, no? they are going to try or sugarcoat the boss or anything. This is the truth. This is what I see, okay? And this example is limited to some report, standard or custom. But imagine that this can be enhanced to many other kind of reports. So the SAP user can have the information at the moment and directly from the data that they trust. And now, just to finish.
Fran, sorry. Can you send, for example, internal tables or CDS to query to Bedrock and get insights?
Yeah, but you need to convert the internal table. You cannot send directly. The API to Bedrock, for example, is work with Xstream. So you need to have the internal table, convert it to Xstream and send it to Bedrock. And that's it. And the answer is going to be also in Xstream, so you will need to manipulate that to display or to continue with the process. To finish. Enough. Okay, here the same as before. We have the ABAP developer, create a code, provide basic instruction, and then create the code from back and add it to the program. That we see it runs. For the business inside, like more or less the same. We have a user, execute the as Bedrock program. It's going to call the SAP report, provide basic instruction, and again get the insight and get the report of the insight. And that's it. There are some customers already working with our SDK. There are some customers and partners that they are waiting for the BTP, for the ABAP BTP version. Okay? But there are other customers that are already developing the solution, no? and getting improving on the system. And where this is, you can download, you can get the information from here, get the transport, import them, and start playing. And if you have any doubts, if you want to have some assessment or to have doubt or whatever, this is my information and my LinkedIn. So I'm open to work with you. Or if you are in another country, I can look for someone in your local country or your local region that work with you for any doubt that you may have. Any question? Doubt?
Is it free, the add-on?
Yeah, the SDK is completely free, but you have to pay for the services that you are going to use with the SDK, with the ABAP SDK.
But you can download.
Yeah, you can download completely for free and import the transport for the services that you are going to use. And they include also a transport to remove the previous transport if you want to remove it completely from the system, in that case.
In private race edition, you can.
Yes, it can work with RAIS. It is compatible with RAIS. You can ask the SAP people to import the order on RAIS. You can start working with the from RAIS.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Fran.
Okay.
The last session will be in the living room.
La API desde ABAP, conectas a
Aquí hemos
la conectas con una aquí o
No, si estás en una AWS, va por un routing que pegas al servidor a los applications.
ya.
Ese routing está asociado con el routing al usuario. Por ejemplo, hay usuarios que pueden ir a Translate o usuarios que pueden ir a Technical.